Hello, so in this video I'd like to discuss what is dermatillomania and why I have chosen to do this little video blog diary thing on YouTube. So to start with, I'm just going to give a demonstration of what dermatillomania is. In cases like in America where they don't have the National Health Service, they have to pay for their medical treatments. And so to fall within a category or to define, which is a terrible term to define someone. For America, they have a manual which comes out every few years or so called the DSM. And the latest one was the DSM-5, which was released in May 2013. And according to this manual, they've labelled the disorder as excoriation, which is another word for dermatillomania, or also known as skin picking disorder. Now in this manual there are 5 criteria which patients will have to meet to be considered having excoriation disorder, and I'm going to talk about them concerning myself. So now the first point says, a recurrent skin picking resulting in skin lesions. I constantly pick my skin and I do it till I bleed. I don't do it intentionally to make myself bleed, I do it because I have the need to remove imperfections, and in doing so I end up damaging my own skin, either by scratching. I also, which is really disgusting to admit, squeeze my spots because I want to get rid of whatever it is that's in my skin, and sometimes I can't do that. I can't get rid of everything in my skin, so I keep digging, and that's when it starts to bleed until I believe I've removed everything from that particular pore. Sometimes I just have a lump which I just pick at, and lastly it's just removing scabs which are already there because they feel like they're imperfect, and I'll pick at them until they feel perfect again, and then I might let them heal. Point number 2, repeated attempts to decrease or stop skin picking. Now I've attempted to do this since probably the age of 12 or 13, and I've done many methods. Most of them result in documenting my skin through artwork or just as a diary. I've got loads of media and artwork which I'd like to show to people because I feel like if I've made it, it should be seen by someone. So either put it on this channel or on my Google Plus page or my Tumblr page. Either way, I'll let you know in the future. Part 3. The skin picking causes clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational or other important areas of functioning. Now I don't want to go into the causes distress bit just yet on my channel, but as for the impairment in occupational or other areas of functioning, I can definitely agree to that, and so can my boss and my friends, if they knew I had this condition. Every day when I turn up for work, I always manage to be 6 minutes late for work. Every day. And it's usually not anything to do with traffic or weather or getting up late. I'm gonna get up later than usual for some people, granted, but I'm always ready on time. But I end up standing in front of the mirror, picking my face, and in the process of picking my face, I'm thinking about how worried I am at being late. Which is such a dichotomy because I'm doing the exact thing which is making me late, which I'm worrying about. There is no logic behind the entire situation. And the same goes for social events. There's always one person who's like, oh, I fell asleep, or I've just got out of the shower. That's me telling my friends that. When in all actuality, I'm too busy trying to apply makeup to the areas I've just picked because I'm worried I'm going to be late to this event. And then in the process of trying to cover up the makeup, I found another bit of skin to pull off or another imperfection to pick, and it's just a continuous cycle till somehow I manage to pull myself away from the mirror and actually go out the door. Whether my skin is good looking, usually not, some of it's still bleeding or oozing, or there's areas which I've missed makeup because I just don't want to go back to the mirror and attempt to put more makeup on because I'm just going to make myself more late by inducing me wanting to pick my skin more. Point 4. The skin picking is not attributable to the psychological effects of a substance, e.g. cocaine, or another medical condition, e.g. scabies. As far as I'm aware, I have no medical condition which results in my face being spotty on my chest, on my shoulders. Usually if I leave my skin alone for long enough, it clears up completely and there is no imperfections on my skin. I know this, but if I feel one, I feel like there is imperfection and I will pick at it. So I don't believe I've got any medical conditions. As for substance abuse, chocolate, perhaps. Point 5. The skin picking is not better explained by symptoms of another mental disorder, e.g. delusions or tactile hallucinations in a psychotic disorder, attempts to improve a perceived defect or flaw in appearance in body dysmorphic disorder, stereotypes in stereotypical movement disorder, or intention to harm oneself in non-suicidal self-injury. Now, I've never had any medical examination for mental disorders, but from the list given in this example, I do not believe I have any of these. The only aspect of this which may connect myself to this disorder, when I feel stressed or slightly anxious about a particular situation or event which has happened, I can seek out and intend to want to pick at my skin just because I know it's a reliable way to relax. It's like, to me, it feels like a form of meditation where you can feel in control and you can think through things clearly and simply and concisely in a linear way, that things aren't all thrown at you at once. It's very clear and you can work through issues or your thoughts clearly, and that is the only way I would link this to any of those. But again, I do not consider that self-injury. I consider that a part of dermatillomania. So moving on from that diagnosis, even though it is from the DSM, which is an American manual, but again that's the most reliable source we have considering it's the most recent and therefore has the most research behind it. The reason I've decided to make this video blog is because it's taking me a long time to build up the courage to put myself in front of a camera and therefore an audience potentially and discuss this disorder. Now, this is in conflict with the idea that I can discuss it openly with people in public to my friends and my family, because I do not discuss it with them, and as far as I'm aware, they do not know of the disorder and of its name. But I want to start here. I want to start talking about it to people who are likely to know also something about the disorder. So I'm going to start here, where it could be searched and I can talk to people who are willing to respond back, which is the genius of social media and a brilliant opportunity for me to start that right now. There have been times in the past where I've attempted this and I've only ever got as far as stuttering. I've never actually verbally spoken about it. It's only after doing a lot of research myself online and finding that there are other people who are willing to talk about it themselves that I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. So here I am, and I'm very grateful and so happy that people have already decided to talk to me and got in contact with me through comments in the videos and on Tumblr, and that is what I wanted. That is what I wanted to achieve. It has given me so much more confidence to keep going with this project, and I hope you can stick around, and because I feel like I need you. I honestly do. So far, I feel like there's only been one person in my life who I've been able to discuss that with, and that's my cat. And the cat doesn't tend to respond that much. And on that note, I think that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. See you next week, hopefully. Dermatillomania is a mental condition, and I believe I've had it for 13 years.